What's up, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in today. And today, I will be making my picks for this year's March Madness. First time ever I'm doing this on the stream. And I'm excited. I'm really excited about this year's March Madness bracket. I can't wait to get into it. I've seen what the matchups are looking like. And I think we are in for a really good March Madness this year. And every year is always good. But I think this year is going to be one of those cream of the crop special March Madness brackets. So, before we get going on picking teams, see who's moving on and who's staying home, here's where you guys can find this video and all of my others on the platforms. So, on Twitter at WillYork_23, YouTube Will York. You guys can also add me as a friend on the Nintendo Switch with that friend code underneath the Switch logo. And that text logo right there in the middle will guide you on your way to Twitter, YouTube, as well as Twitch, which is Tuxedo28, and Discord, which is DrafterChamp #0681. I'm also streaming on the Nintendo Switch Fans of Pittsburgh and Joplin Facebook group page, and I'm also on these consoles as well. So, on Xbox, DrafterChamp27, PlayStation 4, Tuxedo25, and the 12-digit code for the Nintendo 3DS. And you guys can use the commands to, if you want to see any of the platforms, just hit the command and the platform you want, and it'll get your answer. It'll get you what you want right away. Also, I look at the upcoming stream schedule. So, the next planned stream is, of course, 10 days from tomorrow, or 11 days from today. Kirby and the Forgotten Land comes out on Nintendo Switch. So I'm definitely going to want to play Kirby and the Forgotten Land. And then about 2 weeks later, we got Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga. I'll take Friday and Saturday. I'll play some of that. Of course, I will unbox it on the stream and play it for you guys. And then May 2nd through the 6th, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Birthday Bash Amiibo Tournament. To celebrate my birthday, which is on May 3rd, I want to do another Amiibo Tournament. And this one's going to be a good one. We are going to be debuting the Min Min Amiibo, plus all the other Amiibos have gotten upgrades. So we'll be seeing how these upgrades either make some Amiibos better or not so much better. So that is the upcoming, currently planned stream schedule. So without much further ado, and if you guys recognize music, that is the music that they use for the CBS, TBS, TNT, and True TV coverages for all the March Madness stuff. That is the music that they use. I luckily have a copy of it that I bought from iTunes. So this ain't a legit copy of the theme. It's not the legit copy of the theme. It's just a copy that somebody put together, put it on iTunes, and I bought that because I really like the theme. So, without much further ado, let's go ahead and make some picks. So, this music will keep going, and I will be making some picks. So, taking a look at the, let's start with the West. I always love starting at the top left corner of the bracket. So, we have here Gonzaga versus Georgia State. And this one's going to be, it's a big match. It's always a big matchup. It's a 1 versus a 16. And if you look at the tail of the tape, kind of look at the stats. I mean, looking at the stats would be a good thing. But also take a look at who the team is in the recent history. So far, Gonzaga's 5-3 against the top 25. And their rank, BPI rank, is number 1. In their conference, 13-1 against 9-5. And then a lot of people, a game predictor from ESPN Plus has said a majority overwhelming going with Gonzaga. And we also look at the notable results for both teams, so that's pretty cool. This is on the ESPN Tournament Challenge. So Gonzaga has 3 losses in the season. They lost to Duke. They also lost to Alabama. And they also lost one to St. Mary's, which is in their conference. but they did defeat Texas Tech, UCLA, in which UCLA was in the Final Four last year. UCLA was in the Final Four last year. So, given the matchup, they were last season's national championship runner-up. They are a heavy, heavy favorite to win the national title. I gotta go with Gonzaga for the first pick. It's too obvious. I mean, matchups between 1s and 16s, only one time has that happened, that a 16 has defeated a 1 seed. That was UMBC. I believe that happened in the year of 2018, because 2019, Virginia, the team that lost to UMBC, won the national title in 2019. So, yeah, I'm not seeing that happen. Next up, we got the 8 and the 9 seeds. So we got Boise State versus Memphis. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape on this one. The hardest thing about tournament picks and predictions is the 8-9 matchups, because those teams that are 8s and 9s are always well even, and they're really hard to make a decision. They're really, really hard to make the decision. So, and of course, this is a Thursday game. This is a 12:45 Eastern time. So, looking at the tail of the tape here, Boise State's got 60.8 points up, opponent points per game. So, they're giving up less points than Memphis. So, that's pretty good for Boise State. In the top 25, okay, Memphis has the better advantage. They're 3-1 against the 0-1. Basketball, let's see, BPI rank 55 compared to a 22. That's not bad. So that's definitely an edge for Memphis. In the conference, you got 15-3 for Boise State, while 13-5 for Memphis. Interesting about that, Memphis, they're 13-5, but they're in the same conference as Houston, and Houston's a really good team. I mean, they were one of last year's Final Four as well. So, advantage on that one goes to Boise State. They are out of the, I believe, the WAC, the Western American Conference. Then points per game, they're doing 68.7, about 69 points a game, compared to about 75, advantage Memphis. So, and we take a look at these game predictors brought to you by Team Rankings on ESPN Plus. If you're an ESPN Plus member, you'll get to see that. So, we got the decision tree is leaning on Boise State compared to Memphis. Seed comparison, Boise State over Memphis. Power rating, I mean, in similar games, Boise State's got all the advantages. And notable results. So, if we take a look at the notable results, they won against San Diego State 3 times. They won against them 3 times, and San Diego State's in this tournament. But they lost twice to Colorado State, which that's kind of big, because Colorado State's a 6th seed in one of the regions. They also did 2 wins against Wyoming and lost one. Washington State, they won that one by 6, and they lost by 4 to St. Louis. But Houston, they actually beat Houston in the regular season, but lost to them in the tournament. Virginia Tech, they won that by 8. Of course, Virginia Tech made a big, deep run in the ACC tournament, defeated Duke in the championship. They won by 14 against Alabama. They lost by 2 to Murray State, and Murray State is a 7 seed. They're 30-2 and a 7 seed. Nobody's really paying much attention to Murray State, honestly. SMU, they... of course, SMU was they are one of the first 4 out. So, they win 1, but they lost twice against them. So they lost 2 of those. Then Iowa State lost by 19, Iowa State, and also won against St. Louis by 16. Honestly, I mean, I gotta go with Memphis. I mean, I gotta go with Memphis here. From what I saw the highlights of yesterday's game, looks like they tried their absolute best to hang in there. And this just kind of felt a little bittersweet. I feel like a loss like what they had to Houston, a huge motivation that they got going on for this game. So I think Memphis is going to win this one. Next up, we got UConn and New Mexico State. So, taking a look at the preview. Once it loads up. Alright, so, honestly, those two are about even on opponents' points per game. That's not bad. Versus top 25, UConn has the advantage. BPI, UConn has the advantage. Conference, New Mexico State has the advantage. But of course, that's a smaller conference than what UConn's in. UConn's in the Big East. That's a smaller conference. So that's the advantage there goes to New Mexico State. But like I said, UConn's got a bigger conference. Points per game, UConn with a slight advantage. Their predictors are saying UConn 79%. I mean, everything's favoring UConn in this matchup. And notable results, okay. They won once but lost twice to Villanova. They beat Auburn by 6. Lost by Providence by 4. Won 2 against Seton Hall but lost 1. Michigan State lost by 4. And Creighton lost twice to Creighton. And they also beat Marquette twice. Okay, and again, a lot of those are in the same conference. New Mexico State beat Davidson by 12 and Washington State by 3. So, also at least one 12 seed has defeated a 5 seed in 31 of 36 tournaments. Last year, Oregon State was the only 12 to win, knocking off Tennessee 70 to 56. So, honestly, I have to go with UConn on this one. I gotta go with UConn for this pick. It's just, again, tougher opponents, tougher schedule. Just makes UConn a little better. Alright, Arkansas and Vermont, the Catamounts. So, this one's, from what I've heard, this could be a really surprise one if Vermont wins. Points per game, favor Arkansas. Arkansas is 4-1 against top 25. Conference. Vermont is 17-1 in the conference. That's really, really impressive. Compared to 13-5 in the conference. But of course, Arkansas in the SEC, tougher schools, tougher conference. That's not a surprise why, Vermont's a smaller school. What's a smaller D1 school? Smaller school, more odds on winning. Their points per game, Arkansas with a slight edge, 77 compared to 75. A lot of people are saying it's going to be It's going to be Arkansas. No results. They beat Kentucky by 2, split series against Tennessee, won against Auburn by 4, won 3 times against LSU, lost by 1 to Alabama. Lost by 22 to Oklahoma, and win 1 but lost twice to Texas A&M. And for Vermont, they lost by 10 to Providence and by 11 to Maryland. So again, they're 28-5. But apparently, these guys, like I said, they're a smaller school and not much into the big D1 schools. At least one 13 seed has beaten a 4 seed in 26 of 36 tournaments. In the past 3 tourneys, 8 of the 12 matchups were decided by single digits. I got to go with Arkansas on this one. I mean, part of me wants to think about the Catamounts, pulling off the upset, but I think it's going to be Arkansas pulling this one off. Alabama versus the winners of Rutgers and Notre Dame. Let's see. Is there a place for the... I want to know if there's a place for the first 4. There is not. Okay. And if this one actually defaults... Let's see. I know the CBS Sports Bracket actually defaults to... that's a pretty big decision when you got between these. Take a look at Alabama's stats. 76.4 points a game. 5-4 against the top 25. 9-9 in the conference, and they're doing 80 points a game. 80 is a pretty low number. And let's see, Alabama beat Gonzaga by 9, lost twice at Kentucky, won against Houston by 1, won by 9 against Baylor, lost by 16 to A&M. They won by 5 against Tennessee, lost twice to Auburn, and won against Arkansas by 1. Honestly, I'm going to go with the upset. I'm going to pick I want to say Rutgers. Either Rutgers or Notre Dame. I say they'll get the upset on this one. I mean, Rutgers' team is built for upsets. I mean, it's not great, but they're built for upsets. And that Notre Dame team, the Notre Dame team is kind of, they're in a tough situation. It's the ACC. It's a really, really tough schedule. Really tough conference. And then we got Texas Tech versus Montana State. Honestly, we can look at the matchup all we want. Man, this music's awesome. Taking a look, Montana State outscoring by about 9 points. So that's not bad. 7-4 against the top 25. 13 to 160. Conference 16-4 compared to 12-6. In the points per game, Montana State has a slight advantage. But a lot of people are going to go with Texas Tech. I mean, these 14-3 matchups are probably one of the biggest upsets that will ever happen, next to the 15-2s. Notable results, and of course everyone is picking Texas Tech. Gonzaga, let's see, lost by 14 to Gonzaga, won twice at Baylor. That's a big feat to accomplish. You defeat Baylor twice. They win once against Kansas, but lost twice to them, one of them in the championship. Beat Tennessee by 5, won twice at Texas, lost by 4 to Providence, and sweep the regular series, but lost to Oklahoma in one of those. So, interesting there. South Dakota. Then for Montana State, they beat South Dakota State, lost by 17, and lost by 4 to Colorado. Apparently, Montana State is not built for big games. Obviously. They're not built for big games. So, who am I picking? I gotta go with Texas Tech on this one. Gotta go with Texas Tech on this one. Alright, this one, this matchup, I love Sparty. I like Sparty. But, it's a tough matchup against Davidson. I mean, Michigan State has a slight advantage on a majority of these. A slight advantage. But again, Davidson's part of the Atlantic 10 conference. So, again, smaller conference. But everybody's wanting to lean and do Michigan State. The numbers say it. And then, so the notable results, of course, a majority of those are their conference opponents, like Purdue, Iowa, and Wisconsin. They won twice against Wisconsin, so that's a pretty good feat right there. But they also lost twice to Illinois. They also lost to Iowa and Kansas and UConn. As for Davidson, win by 1 against Alabama, lost by 5 to San Francisco, lost by 6 to Dayton. They won against St. Louis twice, and also split a series against VCU. I am going to go with Davidson on this one. I just don't think Sparty could do it. I just don't think Sparty can build it in March. I just don't think so. And then we have Duke and California State University Fullerton. Cal State Fullerton. So wait for this. Honestly, I mean, is there a point to doing this? It's not that close. Yeah, a majority is going to go with Duke. And again, big school versus little school. Majority of the time, big school's going to win. Duke's taking this one. Alright, moving on down. Actually, let's stay up here and we'll do the South while I'm at it too. Let's see now. Well. Alright, actually, let's go down to the East. Trying to figure out... I don't know why it's not showing... why it's not showing, like, the other side as well. It's interesting. And then, let's see. Alright, we'll go with the East. So we got Baylor and Norfolk State. Baylor, of course, defending national champions. Got to go with Baylor. North Carolina and Marquette. I'm going to go with North Carolina. St. Mary's. Let's see. Yeah, St. Mary's versus the winner of Wyoming and Indiana. I got to go with St. Mary's on this one. I mean, Indiana made an impressive run in the Big Ten tournament. Wyoming is just barely in. UCLA and Akron. Got to go with UCLA. They were one of last year's Final Four finalists, and they kept the majority of their players. Texas and Virginia Tech. I'm going Virginia Tech. Impressive run to win the ACC tournament. Texas has a history of choking big games. They choked against TCU in the Big 12 tournament. Yeah. So I gotta go with Virginia Tech on this one. And that the tail to tape doesn't say much for itself. I mean, I understand Texas has one win better against top 25, but Virginia Tech, again, tough school, tough schedule. But they have slight advantages. But again, Texas is getting the majority, all because they're a higher seed. No. I'm going for Virginia Tech on this one. And looking at the history, they split a series with Duke. They split a normal regular season series with... Oh no, they lost twice to North Carolina, but also beat them in the ACC tournament. Lost by 8 to Memphis. Lost by 19 to Wake Forest. By 1 to Xavier. 5 to Dayton. Split series against Miami and swept Notre Dame. As for Texas, lost by 12 to Gonzaga, split series against Kansas, lost to Baylor twice and Texas Tech twice, beat Tennessee by 1, and Seton Hall lost by 4, but they swept Oklahoma, and Oklahoma was a bubble team, ready to come in. So, I still got to go with Virginia Tech. Then next we got Purdue and Yale. Purdue's been good all year. They've been consistent. I think they're going to get the win against Yale. But don't be surprised if Yale comes in and they upset. They've done it before. They could do it again. Murray State and San Francisco. Those 7-10 matchups are always the tough one. Every time. And of course, that's a Thursday night at 8:40. Past my bedtime. So looking at this matchup, we got 63 against 67. These two have not beaten a top 25 team. They're close in the BPI ranking. That's really interesting. 18-0 in the conference. And a slight advantage in points per game. Oh, so we got a 3/4 right here. Power rating. Slight advantage to San Francisco. The notable results. They lost to Auburn by 13. Won at Memphis by 2. Chattanooga by 11. And won twice at Belmont. As for Davidson, for San Francisco, won by 5 against Davidson. Lost 3 times to Gonzaga, of course, out of the WCC, West Coast Conference. St. Mary's lost to them twice. Chicago Loyola lost by 5. BYU, 2 wins and a loss against BYU. UAB won by 2. And again, Razors enter the dance on a 20-game win streak and features a 1-2 punch. 10 seeds are 5-2. There was 1 no contest against 7 seeds in the past 2 tournaments. Quite a change from 2013 to 18 when number 7 seeds won 17 of 24 seeds. So the 10 seeds are 5-2 in the past 2 tournaments. So, interesting fact right there. But, you know what? I'm going to go with the upset. I'm going to upset Murray State. Why not? Might not see it coming. And then we got Kentucky and St. Peter's University. Gotta go Kentucky on this one. And then, let's see. I need to figure out how to... Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Well, trying to... figure out why my screen's not grabbing all of it. Give me a second. Trying to figure out... Oh. No. I need the... Oh, I know why. Give me a second. That's more like it. That's why I couldn't get it. I had it on reactions. I had apparently I had my settings on reaction screen as compared to full page. So whoops, that's on my end. That's a my end on that one. So I could still do a zoom in, and then nope, I can't do that. I guess this will have to do. Alright. This will have to do. I apologize for that. So, alright. South bracket. Arizona versus Wright State and Bryant winner. Arizona's been very consistent all year long. They only have 3 losses. They are... If Gonzaga was not super good, they would probably be the 1 overall seed. Seton Hall and TCU, okay, them 8-9 matches are always the toughest. Every time. Every time. They're the toughest matches around. Of course, this is a Friday at 8:57 EDT. Of course, I'm going to be watching a lot of basketball this weekend. And then we got, let's see, Seton Hall's 21-10, TCU 20-12, so Seton Hall 1 win better. TCU has the advantage over Seton Hall. Of course, Seton Hall is in the Big East. 66, let's see. And then BPI ranking, 36 compared to 45. Seton Hall has a better conference record. Better points per game. Oh, this one's split. This one's split. So decision tree goes 60-40. C comparison 56-44. But power rating for TCU and Seton Hall, or power rating goes to TCU and similar games. Looking at these notable results, Villanova lost twice, UConn win 1 and lost twice, Providence lost by 5, Texas won by 4, Michigan win by 2, Ohio State lose by 3, Xavier beat them twice, and Marquette lost twice. As for TCU, they beat Kansas once and lost to them twice. Baylor lost to them twice. Texas Tech split with them. Also, win against Texas, lose against Texas twice. LSU win by 9. Oklahoma beat them twice. Iowa State split, and Texas A&M win by 4. This is a very interesting matchup. Again, 8 and 9 matchups are the absolute hardest to pick and predict because they're basically even. They're practically even against each other. But again, it really depends on your schedule. You got Big East versus Big 12. You got the tougher school. Which school's tougher, the Big East or the Big 12? I got to go with the Big 12. You got Kansas. You got Baylor. You got Texas Tech. You got those schools, and you're facing them. That conference record, 8-10 against 11-8. Sure, Seton Hall's got the advantage on that one, but I'm kind of leaning on TCU a little bit. So we'll tell the TCU on that one. Houston and UAB. I'm not going to even look at that one. It's Houston. Houston's going to win this one. Illinois and Chattanooga. I've heard this could have potential upset on alert. This could be a potential upset. Illinois gives up more points per game than Chattanooga. Of course, Chattanooga hasn't played a top 25 team. And the conference record's pretty good, about that one game. And the points per game is Illinois' favor. But a lot of these are favoring Illinois. Notable results. They lose by 4 to Arizona. Lost twice to Purdue. Won twice against Iowa. And Iowa won the Big Ten tournament title. Wisconsin win by 13. Lose by 3 to Ohio State. Won twice against Michigan. And also won against Michigan State twice. As for Chattanooga, lose by 11 to Murray State. Win by 2 to VCU. And also lost to 8 by Belmont. Again, Chattanooga seeking their first tournament victory since they reached the Sweet 16 as a 4 seed in 1997, 25 years ago. In true March Madness spirit, I'm going upset on this one. I'm going upset on it. Why not? Colorado State and Michigan, the 6-11 matchup. Michigan's coming in as a record of 17-14. So not even 20 wins. I'm going Colorado State on this one. Tennessee and Longwood. This is Longwood's first ever NCAA tournament appearance. So you're going to have a school that's coming in with no experience whatsoever and hopefully try to defeat this Tennessee team. But they have the point advantage. Tennessee, of course, a better top 25 record. More points per game and a better conference record. Longwood could do the upset. And just looking at the high 90s for Tennessee advantage. That just puts them in the favor. Their results. They lose by Iowa by 33, but what do you expect? It's Iowa. It's a Big Ten school. It's a school. It's a conference that's about twice as big as yours. That's about twice as big as yours. Tennessee has notable results. They beat Arizona by 4, win twice against Kentucky, lost by 18 to Villanova, lost by 5 to Texas Tech, win by 5 against Auburn, lost by 1 to Texas, split series against Arkansas and LSU, but also lost to Alabama by 5. Again, true March Madness spirit, I'm going Longwood. I know, I had Tennessee in a couple of other brackets, but I'm going to go with the Longwood Eagles on this one. Ohio State and Loyola. Again, the 7-10 matchup's interesting. Surprised that Ohio State's even in this tournament. For me, that is. But I'm going with Loyola. They've made 2 really good, impressive runs in the last couple of years. They had a great Final Four. They actually made a Final Four as in the part of the first 4. Only 2 schools that went to the first 4 have made it to the Final Four. VCU in 2011 and Loyola Chicago back in 2018. So, I'm going Loyola on that one. Villanova and Delaware. Gotta go Villanova. They're good. They're pretty much a Big East favorite. Alright. Next, we got KU versus Texas Southern and Texas Corpus Christi. KU. San Diego State and Creighton. Let's take a look at this 8-9 matchup. Again, San Diego State out of the WAC, I think. And Creighton also out of the Big East. Creighton scores more points, has better wins against top 25. San Diego State with better conference win. But points per game belonging to Creighton. Again, almost everything. Oh, the similar games are split. They're split on the similar games, but everything else goes to San Diego State's advantage. So looking at their notable results, win by 10 to St. Mary's, win 2 out of 3 against Colorado State, lost 3 times to Boise State, lost by Michigan by 14, USC by 15, and won against Wyoming by 7. Villanova for Creighton, they win 1, lost twice to Villanova, beat UConn twice, split series with Providence, lost twice to Seton Hall, lost to Colorado State by 14, but they also beat Marquette 3 times and lost twice to Xavier. So, advantage, I'm going with Creighton. I'm going to go with Creighton. Iowa and Richmond. I'd say Iowa's on a pretty hot streak right now. Again, they're actually the only school, Iowa's the only school in the tournament where both their men's and women's team have actually won the conference tournament. So, that's pretty big. And you got Iowa and, of course, Richmond making the tournament for the first time since 2011. I'm going Iowa. I'm going with Iowa. And then we got Providence, South Dakota State Jackrabbits. I know, those 4-13 matchups are kind of hard. It is upset. It can be upset, but I'm not going upset on that one. LSU and Iowa State. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape on this one. This is a really, I'd say, a poor matchup. You got a 22-11 LSU against 2012 Iowa State. These two are practically equal. That's pretty much equal. The conference, LSU has an advantage, but that's almost about as equal as you can get. LSU with the point advantage. And again, the advantage on that, looking at their wins and losses, split the series against Kentucky and Tennessee, lost to Auburn by 15, lost all their matchups to Arkansas. Alabama split with them, lost to TCU by 9, and also beat A&M twice. And A&M didn't even make it to the tournament. As for Iowa State, they lost 2 out of 3 to Texas Tech, beat Iowa by 20. Baylor lost twice to Baylor and Kansas, split with Texas, split with Oklahoma, split with TCU, beat Memphis by 19, and Creighton won by 6. Okay, I'm going with LSU on this one. I mean, Iowa State lost to Kansas and Baylor twice. I don't know about that. And then, let's see. Wisconsin and Colgate. I'm going Wisconsin. USC and Miami. Let's take a look at the tale of the 7 and the 10. Again, those are about the second hardest matchups you can come up with. Besides the 8-9 matchups that are the toughest to decide, because they're practically even, the 7-10s are the second hardest. They are the second hardest. And then, let's see. Opponents' points per game. USC doing a better job of that. Okay, these two did not do very well against the top 25. Of course, actually, Miami did a little better. 1 for 2. They won, let's see, 1 out of 3 matches. As USC only won 1 out of 4, so about both of them was 25%. So, let's see. Miami's got the better PPI. They're both equal in conference. And Miami with a slight point advantage. So, again, similar games. Advantage Miami. But USC takes the majority with decision tree, seed comparison, and power ratings. Look at the results. They win one against USC. Wins one against UCLA, but loses twice. Lose twice to Arizona. Win by 15 to San Diego State. Split with Oregon. Won twice at Washington State. And won at Colorado by 3. As for Miami, split the series with Duke. Won by 28 against North Carolina. Lost by 32 to Alabama. Split the series with Virginia Tech. Won twice at Wake Forest. And lost by 4 to Notre Dame. Advantage, Miami. And then we got Auburn and Jacksonville State. Of course, the true champion. This is the runner-up to that conference. Look at the matchup here. Because the school that won the tournament is still undergoing a transition from Division II to Division I, they are not eligible to join the tournament. Right here. It should be around there. Though anyway, these guys finished up as second runner-up in the regular season, so they are getting the berth for the March Madness. It's because the school that won the tournament is not eligible for tournament. Is not eligible for the tournament because they're still in the transition between Division II and Division I. And that reminds me of former MIAA school that will be joining Division I. So they'll be joining D1 this fall, so that's pretty cool. Auburn's been a really big, consistent story during the year, so gotta go with Auburn. I mean, as much as the Jacksonville State, they said they're well known for the threes. Taking a look at this, slight advantage, 3-2 in there. Yeah, I mean, I think Auburn's got the slight advantage over them, barely. So, anyway, that's the end of the first round. So we'll go back to the top. We'll start here with Gonzaga, Memphis. I'm going Gonzaga. And of course, the second round matchups always tend to be the toughest ones for those 1 seeds. And a lot of people would pick Gonzaga over them. So, I got to go with Gonzaga on that one. It's just a little tough. UConn and Arkansas. Well, that's a big one. It's SEC versus Big East. I'm going to go Arkansas on this one. And then Rutgers Notre Dame winner takes on Texas Tech. Gotta go with Tech. Davidson and Duke. Gotta go with Duke. I'm not going to do much on the matchups. Baylor, North Carolina. Okay, let's look at this one. I know I didn't look at this matchup, and I imagine North Carolina being consistent. Let's take a look at this one. This one's going to be interesting. So North Carolina actually allows more points than Baylor. And then better wins. The BPI is a lot better. North Carolina with the better conference win and more points per game. But the favor still goes to Baylor. So, and of course, notable results for North Carolina. They split the series with Duke. Lost to Kentucky by 29. Lost by 17 to Tennessee. As well as Purdue. Went 2 out of 3 against Virginia Tech. That loss was in the... Actually, no. That loss was in the ACC tournament. Wake Forest lost by 22, and then Michigan wins by 21. I'm going Baylor in this one. It's going to be hard to stop a team that has won the national title. That's going to be really hard to win against those teams. St. Mary's versus UCLA. Going UCLA on this one. We'll get a good matchup from previous Final Four. Virginia Tech and Purdue. I'm going Purdue. San Francisco and Kentucky. I'm going with Kentucky, so we got that. We'll stay over here on the bottom right quadrant, the Midwest, sorry. Going Auburn. I'll go Wisconsin. I'm going Iowa and Kansas. Going back up. Picking Villanova. Colorado State. Picking Houston and Arizona. Alright, this is the Sweet 16. This is where the matches get a little bit, harder to pick. But I am picking Gonzaga. They've been consistent all year long. Or this is the Elite 8, I'm sorry. This is the Elite 8. And then I'm going to go... Nope. Okay, this is the Sweet 16. Okay. This is the Sweet 16. Let's take a look at that Texas Tech and Duke matchup. That sounds like a great matchup to watch, by the way. That sounds like a great matchup. Duke clearly allows more points. Tech has a better record in the top 25. Conference belongs to Duke. Points per game belongs to Duke. Oh, that's split. That is near split. Ooh. These two have both played Gonzaga, too. Of course, Duke beat them, but Tech lost to them. The Baylor... wow. Again, they swept Baylor. It's going to be tough, but I'm going to go with Tech. I'll stick with my decision for Tech. And then we got Baylor, UCLA. I'm going with Baylor. Purdue and Kentucky. I'm actually going to pick Kentucky for the upset. Well, let's take a look at the tail on the tape on this one. Let's look at this one. Well, as soon as it loads, we got 27-7. Opponents' points per game. Kentucky slight advantage on that one. But Purdue has better record against top 25. Conference, dead even. And so does points per game. That's about dead even. But the majority of the advantage is going to Kentucky. Of course, Kentucky's record, they beat Kansas by 18. Lost by 8 to Duke. Win and 2 losses to Tennessee. Lost by 9 to Auburn. LSU split with them. Lost by 2 to Arkansas. Won twice against Alabama. And beat North Carolina by 29. But I'm picking Purdue in this one. So, Wisconsin, Auburn. That's going to be an interesting matchup. But... actually, I don't need to look at this. I'm picking Wisconsin in this one. KU and Iowa. This is going to be tough. Iowa gives up more points per game than Kansas does. Okay, that's always a big factor. Always a big factor. And then, let's see. KU is 6-4 against the top 25. Better record. And points per game belonging to Iowa. So, the fact that KU has a pretty stout defense and Iowa's got a big offense, that's going to be a big clash. And everybody's viewing KU as for big results. So, honestly, I want to go with Iowa on this. And of course, it'd be interesting. We'll have a Big Ten showdown. It'd be nice for a Big Ten showdown in the Elite Eight. And then we got Villanova. And let's look at the tail of the tape on this one. I feel like Houston, being a Power 10 school, not a Power 5 school, not a Big 5, it's a Power 5. They're a lot smaller than the Big 5 schools. Their defense, opponent's point per game, almost 10 points less than Arizona. Okay, yeah. Arizona's got a better conference record, and points per game, Arizona, ooh. That one's a big matchup. And the one thing advantage is the similar games. So, this is really going to be hard to decide, but I'm going to go with Houston. And then, let's see. Gonzaga versus Texas Tech. I'm going with Gonzaga. Well, also the fact that these two actually met head-to-head in the season. I believe they won by like 15. I was looking at the record. Yeah, Texas Tech. They lost by 14 to Gonzaga. So Gonzaga is a really big favorite to win the tournament this year. Oh, might as well do this one up here. Houston and Villanova. I'm going to go with Villanova on this one. And then we got Baylor and Purdue. I'm going Baylor. I think everybody wants to see that rematch from last year. And then Iowa and Wisconsin. Iowa's had a hot streak at a hot time. We'll go with Iowa. And then we got Gonzaga and Baylor. I think Gonzaga's going to get the win this time. They'll get the win over... I think they'll get the win this time over Baylor. Just to... You know what they say about revenge. A dish best served cold. And looking at the tail of these two tapes right here... I mean, Baylor gives up less points. Both identical in the top 5, against top 25. 13-1, but 14-4 in the conference. Points per game. Gonzaga with the big advantage on that one. Ooh, that's pretty much split. It's a 2-0-2. Gonzaga with the advantage. So they're strong favorites, and I'm going to go with that. Villanova and Iowa. I mean, I think I'll take the Villanova squad. And for the winner, this is going to be tough. Gonzaga versus Villanova. National championship. Let's take a look. Opponent's point per game. Villanova with the advantage on the defense. Against top 25. Advantage on that one. Conference advantage. Points per game. Gonzaga. And it been favors all Gonzaga. But Villanova is also the tournament's best free throw shooting team that don't make mistakes. They rarely turn the ball over or get in foul. Again, that's a pretty good one. Honestly, this is a really tough matchup to decide. I am going to go with... I've picked Gonzaga. I got 3 work brackets that I'm in. I got Gonzaga in 1, Arizona in 1, and Kansas in 1. I am going to go with Villanova. That's the fact. They've been one of the most consistent teams in the last couple of years. They win 2 national titles in a 3-year span. 2 national titles in a 3-year span. So, tiebreaker, pick the final score. We will go with, I'd say with the defense. I mean, with a high-powered offense and a stiff defense, I'd say it's going to be close. Gonzaga scores a lot of points, but if Villanova really holds them up, then this could be a low-scoring game. I'm going to go with a 62 to 58. So, and of course, I'm going to enter into the events. And of course, I will enter this one. This is the ESPN bracket. This one's just for fun. Alright, so the picks are set. I have Villanova as my champion. Villanova is going to be my champion. So, I know it's a pretty strong one, but I think it'll be an interesting one. So, there you have it. My Final Four, Gonzaga, Baylor, Villanova, and shoot. Sorry guys, I'm just filling out the required fields to actually get a chance to be entered for, just for funs and giggles. So I thought I'd switch it over to a screen where so the picks have been saved. I have picked Villanova to cut down the Nets in New Orleans. So as you can see, I've got it nice and going. So yeah, I think just kind of looking at these matchups and my best ability, it's not perfect, but I know for a good fact I've actually done consistent in NCAA tournaments in the last couple of years. I feel like this year might be a little different, but that's okay. The part of playing is having fun. So don't do it for money. You can try your best for money, but don't do it just to, you think you have the absolute best shot to win. You think, oh man, I'm going to try it for the money and all that. No, just have some fun. Have some fun with it. So I think, from what I've seen, Villanova's a good, consistent team. And, they did pretty well. I said they ended up winning the Big East tournament. But I think, also the fact that in 2016 and in 2018, they won the NCAA championship tournament. So that good consistency, I think it would be a big favor for them in this tournament. So I think Villanova might have a pretty good chance of winning the tournament. So, that's pretty much all I got for you guys today. So I have picked my winners. So putting that in the chat real quick. So, and then let's see. Trying to take a good look at the bracket, see who's in my top. So yeah, I just need to remember who my other teams were. So Gonzaga, Baylor, Villanova, and Iowa. That is who I have included in my Final Four. So, anyway, guys, like I said, that's going to do it for me today. I know it was a short stream. I know it's been on for like an hour, and I was just going through matchups and seeing who I think is going to win. So, anyway, like I said, that's what's going to do it for me today. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I really do. I hope you guys enjoyed me watching and looking at matchups and making picks and predictions who I think is going to win. So, if you guys wish to check out this video and all of my other videos, feel free to do so on the platforms. On Twitter, at WillYork_23. YouTube, Will York. You guys can also add me as a friend on the Nintendo Switch with that logo. And that text logo will guide you on your way to Twitter, YouTube, as well as Twitch and Discord, which Twitch is Tuxedo28 and Discord RaptorChampHound0681. I'm also streaming on Nintendo Switch fans in Pittsburgh and Joplin. I'm also on these game consoles on Xbox, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo 3DS. If you guys wish to know any more about the socials, hit the command bot for any of the platforms and you will get what you want. So, one super duper last look at upcoming stream schedule. We got Kirby and the Forgotten Land in about 11 days. Then Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga. And then on April 8 and 9, I'll also throw in some MLB The Show 22. And I'm also going to do a Smash Bros. Birthday Bash Amiibo tournament about a month and a half from now. So, that's all I got for you guys today. So, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. I hope you guys have a great, wonderful day. Be safe, be smart, enjoy making those picks, have fun with these March Madness predictions. Have fun with them. Until next time, guys, I will catch you all on the flip side. Have a good one, guys.